Casey here today? No? Okay, I'll come back tomorrow. I mean, only if you want to do it.
It's been a long time.
No, I mean...
Counting down. 5, 4...
Hey everybody, welcome to GeekStorm. I'm Sean Hilton, owner of Comics Cube, founder of the Kokomo Con, executor of the Excelsior Comics Cube Geek Street Scholarship, Grand Poobah of Geek Street, petter of puppies, and, well, let's face it, your mom probably really likes me. Today I'm joined by my oldest friend in the world, not like, you know, just the time, Mr. Michael Harrison. You fill in on your stuff.
I don't have a lot of titles like that. I mean, you know, stuff that's made up to make me look good. It's just me.
Which of this is wrong?
I am what I am. I'm like Popeye.
Which of the titles is incorrect?
Huh?
Which of the titles is incorrect?
My mom definitely does not like you.
Your mom likes me.
She doesn't even know you exist. My mom doesn't know you exist.
She doesn't watch the show?
She doesn't know.
Oh, man. All right, I might take the mom thing back. All right, it's been a long time. There's been a lot of rock and roll.
It has been a long
There's been
time.
a ton of Geek Street stuff going on, geek news. I'll tell you what, though, Mike. I'm gonna get in real quick.
Go do it.
The amount of nonsense that Mr. Dukes has put up in our place, like if you go over every once in a while, I go to Channel 2, just to like, what's over here?
Right.
And there's a ton of people doing what we do, but it's like, I would describe it as you went to the ballpark and you got like the nachos and they put the cheese all over it.
Right, delicious.
And then 2 days later, you got to it. That's what they're like compared to us. It's like just this giant glob of greasy, old, nasty stuff. But and then these two people had already seen Ant-Man Quantumania and we're talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know he's not uploading shit like super quick. So they had to have seen this a while ago. I'm like, how did these two nobodies get to see this movie in advance? I'm just saying, you got Feige on the call, right?
He's right there.
Feige, where's our preview?
Yeah.
What's two geeks got to do? What got pictures of somebody?
You got to get invited to the premiere. I mean, that's what those people do. They get to go to the premiere, and it's because you know what they have? They have followers. Now, if you're watching this on the YouTube, if you're watching this on the YouTube, let your eyes gaze down right below the picture and see the number of views. That's a small indication as to why we're not getting the Feige call. It's probably the reason. But that's your fault. Okay, that's not our fault. We're doing the best we can. We give 100%.
So if we can't get the Feige call, all right, James Gunn, all right,
Sure.
You're just getting started.
Sure.
You know what? You're already taking a chance on a slate. You might as well take a chance on us too.
Take a chance
We'll
on
come.
me.
We'll interview some people on the red carpet.
Yes.
We'll
I
say.
can do this.
Oh, what is that? Is that chew? What are you getting up to?
It's tea.
Nasty.
It's tea.
Nasty is what that is. All right. Hey, what do you got on your list, buddy?
First off, before that,
I'm sorry.
We have been gone a while.
A minute.
Right, and just because it's been difficult to coordinate schedules, Mike's so busy with doing city stuff. We normally used to have just a window when we could do the show, where we could do the show. Now we got this new space.
The GeekStorm studio?
It's fantastic. We can do it. We can do this show on a Tuesday night instead of that Thursday or Friday afternoon. We can do it whenever. So I hope we can be more regular again.
Sure.
Because I miss doing the show.
I mean, maybe more fiber in your diet.
I am very regular in that way.
So
I take several
I
supplements.
think I've added another person to that list.
Sure.
So the idea is sometimes we're not available. Now we've got multiple people I think that can come in and fill in the other seats.
Yes, the main thing is we're going to bring more GeekStorm to you so you can be up on the things that we care about. Maybe you care about them too. We don't really care what we're going to talk about. I've got a list. I don't care if the things you like are on this list. I want to talk about
I'll tell you what you need to do though. You need to be in the comments. You need to slide into the DM thing. You need to talk to us.
Slide into my DMs. That's cool.
You gotta tell us what you want to hear about. You know, you don't want to hear about Feige. You don't want to hear about James Gunn.
Feedback.
You want to hear about video games more. You got to let us know.
Exactly.
So you let us know what you need to happen in Cell Block C. We've got you covered.
Speaking of Cell Block C and Shawshank, we go into the beautiful Raquel Welch. Let's just. We normally start the show off with the sad things, unfortunately, and it's been a long time. We're not going to try to recap the last 6 months or however long it's been.
There's a lot of dead people.
Yeah, there's a lot of dead people. These are a couple we care about, though. Raquel Welch, 83 years old, icon in Hollywood as far as that bombshell, 20 million years BC. 10 million? I think it's 20. I think it's 20.
Could be.
I think it's 20.
I think 10.
20 million years BC. Whatever it was, loincloth, that's all I have to say. One of the very early pin-up model type icons that got out into the mainstream, before Playboy came around and all that kind of stuff. But the reason I said Shawshank obviously is because of the picture that Andy Dufresne had on his door, or on his wall rather, to hide his.
And that was the
nefarious
second or
scheme.
third picture.
At least the second.
Because
First one was,
the actual title is not Shawshank.
Correct.
It's something about Rita Hayworth.
it is Rita Hayworth and the Shawshank Redemption.
Okay, so originally it's Rita, and
The
through
first
time,
poster in that movie was Rita Hayworth.
and it gets
She's
upgraded to
doing her
Raquel Welch.
doing her hair thing that Red likes so much.
Here's the thing to think about.
Sure.
Because you're 52?
I'm 54.
54.
I'm closer to 55 than I am 54.
She was Hollywood royalty.
Yep.
She only makes it to 83.
Yeah.
You're 54.
So,
I mean, I'm just saying it's not higher math.
but I've got great genes.
She was Hollywood royalty.
I don't care.
People were working to keep her alive.
109. I'll be doing GeekStorm at age 109. Sorry, you'll be dead.
Right-
You'll be dead
right-
within the next 3 years.
Right
But
next to
I
my
will be
severed
around.
head.
I'll be here at age 109. Count on it.
I'd like to point out that he claimed I was going to die the 23rd of January this year, and
Uh-huh.
yet here I am.
I don't remember that, but it sounds like something dumb I'd say, so I'm gonna agree with it.
You and a South American calendar
I don't know what
had
that means.
the death dates out there somewhere.
Maybe it could
Didn't
have been.
make it.
Bruce Willis.
Not dead.
Not dead.
Not dead.
Not dead. But unfortunately, he did about a year ago or so. They announced that he was retiring from acting and he was having some issues. They didn't come out and say too much about it. Yesterday, I guess they came out and said that he does have pretty much full-on dementia, and that is unfortunately a fatal thing. So hopefully he lives the rest of his days peacefully, surrounded by friends and family. But what a body of work! Whether you like it or not, that's a guy who's just rolled out movie and project and movie after day after day after day. There must be. I bet there's 5 Bruce Willis movies that released this year. I bet there is. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
That's a lot. He's only 67.
He's only 67.
Hollywood royalty. People
You're
have a
obsessed-
financial investment to keep him alive.
You're obsessed with my.
I'm just saying we're all doomed. We're all doomed. So,
You're obsessed with my
favorite Bruce Willis movie?
Oh, that's tough. My favorite role is Hudson Hawk. That's my favorite role of his, and only because of the musical number. I think that was just fantastic.
I adore
Not a
Hudson.
great movie.
I love a good bad movie.
Yeah.
That's one of the tops. Love Hudson Hawk. The whole thing is cheesy fun, so good. I have a hard time getting past Die Hard. That's just so iconic. It's so good.
This is the year 2023. He only has one movie coming out this year. Last year,
5,
10 movies.
10 movies.
10 movies in 2022 he put out.
Plus, how many do you think he's probably just got on the shelf?
I don't know. Well, I'll tell you.
I mean,
I'll tell ya.
Well, I'm saying like we don't even know about.
Right.
Because,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there's plenty of that. You know, you got Batgirl that got shelved from DC. That's got what's his face up for best.
He's got
actor.
145 acting credits in movies.
That week.
Let alone TV.
Say,
Three seasons of Moonlighting, maybe something like that. I don't know what it was. Anyway, all right. So those are sad things, but you know we remember them, so we can remember the good things.
We can.
Like local news. We got
Yippee-ki-yay.
just a little local news. Did you know? That's we need a banner.
This just in.
Yeah. You can go to the Kokomo Library today, just today,
Today.
and start rolling dice. Just to do it.
7-Eleven, baby.
You can walk in.
7-Eleven, roll it.
Hi, sir. Can I help you? I'd like to have
9.
Nine.
The number is 9. The point is 9.
Right, exactly. You're going to the casino today, are you?
Right afterwards, I am out of the seat, walking down the street. I have a drink in the cup holder.
Good.
And
There you
I really am going to go pick up boards for comics.
Right.
But it happens to be, and this is no exact. You haven't
I
been with me on the new place, have you?
I don't know.
It is on the same road as the casino.
Oh,
like
is
you
it?
have to drive by the casino to get to the archival supplies.
Oh, the
for
new
comic
warehouse?
books.
Yes, I've been there. Yeah.
So yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
You have to go by it.
Yeah,
So,
I mean so they're practically daring you to go in there and
Yeah.
get money.
Please lose your money to us. I've been up until my last visit. I took a new person.
no.
I kind of felt like, all right, you got to kind of show them
Is that
stuff.
person invited again?
Yeah, it was Kayla. She was fun.
Sure.
She's never been to a casino.
Oh, yeah?
But I also felt like, all right, so you've got to do some of these things.
She still hasn't been to casino, to be honest.
Well, she got to roll the dice at
Sure.
a table game.
That's cool.
So,
Good for her.
So it was a good time.
Good for her.
Let's get, but back to the library.
Back to the library and rolling
You know.
dice. They've got a program in which you can they host and play D&D. I know nothing about it. Do you know anything about it?
I have taken part in some of it.
Oh, there you go.
It started off with Digital Ben. Ben Rutz is the head of the Digital Den at the Kokomo Library. The Digital Den is set up to help you with 3D printing, button making, crafting things, and other digital items as well.
That's here at the Howard County Public Library.
You can just go into the library, and if you've got some questions about your tech, he can attempt to help you. Now, let's be very clear. This is a free service.
Sure.
You're getting what you pay for.
Don't get pissed at him if he doesn't know the answer to your question.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to fix every single phone on the planet from whatever you did to it.
He's not Geek Squad or anything.
No, but it's an opportunity for you to check out stuff.
You can't treat him like a piece of trash like you would somebody in retail.
No, you can't just throw him at yeah, fix it. But so he has set up in that same space though. He has set up a lot of content revolving around gaming and Dungeons and Dragons. They had a D&D meetup was their first activity, where DMs and players came together just to meet each other. A icebreaker, if you will. Then they had a check out a GM day, where a handful of GMs went in and wrote like the back of a paperback, and then players would read all those things and then check out that GM for the day to play a one-shot.
I see.
Then they had a lock-in at another branch of our library, starting at 8 at night till 8 in the morning.
About that.
And they played a mega dungeon.
Wow.
I recently just hosted with them a how to paint miniatures day. So we spent about 3 hours just learning some very basic concepts up in the digital den where we taught you how to paint some miniatures.
Well, you are a master of basic concepts. So speaking of which, hey, let's move along to the next.
Mom likes
well, she doesn't even know. She go. Okay. What do you want to talk about in the world of comics?
There's so much going on.
I know.
And it's just not because it's my job.
Right.
It's been a long time. There is a lot going on.
Right.
One of the things that I mentioned beforehand that I want to talk about was DC's newest event is called like the Dawn of DC.
Dawn of DC.
So in 2023, DC Comics is putting out 20 new titles. Some of these aren't really new, they're refreshes. Some people have used the word reboot, some people have used this word soft reboot. I don't see that as accurate at all from being on the inside. Basically, they've had characters on the shelf for a little while, and now it's time to dust them off and bring them back. They mentioned at James Gunn's thing that Doom Patrol was going to be one of the items that was going to get a little love. So Doom Patrol's been on the shelf for a while. It's getting blown off, and we're going to get a new Doom Patrol series, probably with some new characters. They've been putting some top new talent on it. Superman himself hasn't necessarily gone away, but his son has taken over the spotlight of the Superman universe.
John, J-O-N, John?
Yes. He's taken over the spotlight for the last year, and now they're reintroducing Clark as we know him back into the universe, more hardcore, like he's back. So we're going to get a brand new Superman #1 next Tuesday. And a ton of covers to go with that. Green Arrow got pulled. He's been on the shelf for a while. Once the TV show went off the air, they wanted to kind of give it time to refresh.
Sure.
So they pulled that. He's coming back. Mark Waid, one of the all-time great writers, he is taking on Shazam. And now he's done a little press already. He's a big name in the comic book world. Long before we had Jeff Johns, we had Mark Waid. If the time period had been pushed a little bit for the digital stuff to be so hot, I believe Mark Waid would have been the head of
Excellent storyteller.
DC Comics.
Excellent storyteller.
So he's come out and said, because Captain Shazam is the magic word.
Right.
The character is Captain Marvel.
Right.
But because of legalities with Marvel Comics and other things that have been going on, they don't tend to call him Captain Marvel ever anymore. So Mark Waid has come out and just said shorthand his new name, and he'll be referred to people as just the Captain. Which sounds stupid to me.
That is terrible.
But we already got Captain America, kind of goes by that a little bit anyway sometimes.
He did when he wore the black suit at the beginning.
It's been done.
Before US Agent, he was just the captain.
He was even talking about, there's a joke about like an early thing with Mariners.
Wait a minute, and that was a Mark Waid story too. When he lost the shield, went in the black costume before the US Agent came along. I think it was.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
I think that was Mark Gruenwald.
Okay, maybe.
Or somebody of that nature. I don't think that was Mark Waid at that time was trying to get on the Cap forever and just kept getting rejected. But DC's doing this. We're getting 20 new books coming out through the year with a very big push. So I expect them to put in some top talent. They spent all of 22 involved in a interesting financial market takeover situation that was really well done on their part. I don't know that it's going to pay off. Last year, DC Comics made approximately 70% of their titles returnable. So every new #1 they put out,
Right.
I could buy as many copies as I wanted
Right.
and then return them all.
Right.
And I returned enough books that just this last return, I didn't pay for new DC comic books for 3 straight weeks.
Wow.
That was how much the return was. So in the end, people are like, well, financially they took a beating. My thinking is from this side of the table where I sell comics, every time they did that, that was 4 or 5 Marvel books or another company's books I didn't buy. If I could buy 15 that I would normally buy of a DC, but now you've made it so that they're returnable, I bought 25, knowing I could return them. But I'm not made of infinite money,
Right.
so I meant somewhere those 5 copies had to be offset by someone else,
Right.
which was almost entirely Marvel Comics from my store. We still carried plenty of Marvel Comics, but it's a new #1, I'll order 5 extra copies of the new #1, became I'll order 2 extra copies of the new #1. So I think DC had an interesting market assault last year. This year I've noticed the returns are way down. So now we'll see how this pays off leading into this new 20 books. If you've been looking to ever get into the DC universe and you're thinking, man, there's so much going on, it's very complicated, I don't know where to begin, this thing called The Dawn of DC is the place for you to finally jump in and check it out. And you're going to see a lot of new characters. So a lot of fun stuff.
Is the Dawn of DC is it a bookend book, or is it just that's the theme?
That's just the theme.
So there is no Dawn of DC book
No,
that you have to pick up first.
Not yet, anyway.
Okay.
But and again, Superman releases next week, so
So it's getting ready to start. It hasn't started yet.
no, there's been little previews here and there.
I see.
Action Comics 1051 kind of kicked it off with him returning in that book, but the big one is #1.
But this is a soft reboot, not like New 52, which was a full-on starting from zero.
As I said, I don't even like the word reboot this time because it really is. You know how it. If you're into comics, you know now every 50 to 60 issues, a book gets canceled
Right.
and then restarts the next week
Right.
with a new #1.
Right.
This is what's going on right
see.
now. These are characters that have been allowed to rest. It's like, the wrestlers at WWE, they've taken a pounding for 10 straight years. They're like, you're going to get 9 months off to rest and heal up, then we'll bring you back. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
So they're starting with Action, Superman, Batman #1s.
Yes.
Are the previous numbering stopping?
A lot of the books are continuing, but a lot of these guys haven't had their book. Like Superman hasn't had his ongoing for about a year.
Okay.
Most of these other ones will be like Batman Brave and the Bold. Super excited about that book, but now also very leery because I was very excited about a book called Danger Street. And so now I'm a little cautious. But yes, again, if you're interested in DC Comics, now's the time. I think you're going to have a lot of different options. Doom Patrol is a quirky, weird book. Superman is about as mainstream comics as you can get. Batman Brave and the Bold is going to be like an anthology book. So there is going to be something for every different flavor of geek out there. So if you're not shopping with me, fine. Check out your local comic book store, whoever, order it online, call the library. The library's got a great selection of books. And one last thing before we get off of comics, Gunn, we're not talking about the Gunn thing. His slate didn't seem to be on our list.
Well, that'll
we're
run
running
the
out of
Flash.
time. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. That is a similar situation, the restructuring that you're talking about with DC, which is owned by Warner Brothers. The same thing happened with Warner Brothers and DC movies, and so much so that much like Marvel Films is separate from Disney, now this DC Films is separate from Warner Brothers. And if you didn't know, I don't know who you are, but they're doing a complete. This is a full reboot we're talking about with DC Films. They are actually calling it the DCU now, not the DCEU like it used to be. So the DCU, James Gunn, Peter Safran, they are going to be in charge of DC Films like Kevin Feige is in charge of Marvel Studios, and they are not going to be beholden, they say, not beholden to Warner Brothers in general, and so much so that they've already. The good thing about Gunn is he's on Twitter, and he will get on there and tell you if somebody says something that's wrong. Somebody said, well, they've already started casting such and such. He said no. He said, oh, Superman. We haven't cast Superman. We're not even looking at that yet because the script isn't done. I haven't finished the script, so until I finish the script, we don't even look at casting. Well, how much of that is true or not? But he's very much in charge of this entity. So, being that we still have a couple movies from DC that are in the can that are still to be released this year. We've got Aquaman 2, we've got Flash, which we're going to talk about here in a second, and one
Blue
more.
Beetle.
Blue Beetle. There you go, Blue Beetle. So Originally, Blue Beetle was going to be a HBO Max only, and then now they've said they are going to release it in theaters. Aquaman 2
December 25th release, so
has been done for quite a while,
whew.
but it is still going to be released. The most recent news anyway is over the Super Bowl we got the first new official trailer for Flash, which is the Ezra Miller Flash that has been in previous iterations in the Snyderverse, whether it's Justice League or what was the other one? He was in something else. He made a appearance in Batman vs Superman. He made a real small appearance in Batman vs Superman. Anyway, so but Ezra Miller is, and this, I'm going to not get into slander or is it whatever. Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Allegedly.
You had your say.
Everything is allegedly.
Sure. Yeah.
All opinion.
I'm not even going to tell you what he did, okay?
Beat up the state of Hawaii, kidnap people,
He did not beat up the state of Hawaii. That's ridiculous.
Allegedly.
He's been arrested for things. He's been filmed doing things he shouldn't do. He's been accused of things. Let's just leave it at that. He is, by all intents and purposes, from people who know him and people who have just been able to look at YouTube, a garbage person. Okay, fine. Let's just say it. And
to quote Britney Spears,
I don't know what that
he's
is.
toxic.
I don't know. Sure. Either way, but this movie, when most of this happened, this movie is well into production, if not already done. So they had to decide whether they should move forward. There was actual talk, now whether that's internet talk or not, there was actual talk of just shelving it all together because the Snyderverse was basically dead. They'd done their Snyderverse cut on HBO Max. It had success or not. It's up to you to decide that. But they could have just shelved Flash and nobody would have ever known. You know, they were certainly in the market for writing things off because they did it with Batgirl just for a tax write-off. Nobody will ever see this movie.
And that's got Brendan Fraser starring in it.
I know.
Who's super hot right now.
He is. So whether or not regardless of how you feel about Ezra Miller, let's talk about the movie itself. Okay, let's just take him out. Let's say it was Grant Gustin.
We've gone in. We've done that Batista Netflix movie. We've digitally taken him out of every scene and put in
Grant Gustin. Let's just say it's Grant Gustin. It doesn't matter. The trailer looked pretty good. It looked like, okay, we're going to see a little bit of, there hasn't been a secret for quite a while that Michael Keaton is in the movie as his 89 Batman or whatever it was. So they're playing on that nostalgia a little bit, and which is cool. I like that. And I think we're going to see some multiple Batmans, obviously, because I know Affleck is in it as well. The thing is about this movie is, though, it's not a Ezra Miller movie. It is not... You're not hurting Ezra Miller by not going to see this movie, okay? I almost guarantee the decisions have already, unless this movie makes $2 billion, we won't see Ezra Miller back in that suit again. He's just too volatile, too toxic to take a chance on moving forward. This going from the Snyderverse to now what we're going to have with the new James Gunn DCU, it's just a perfect opportunity to just cut ties and be done. The fact that it's maybe something like a Flashpoint story or something like a story when he's going to change realities is a perfect spot to be done with him. The answer to this entire thing moving forward is Barry Allen. That's how you move forward. You just don't even go back to is Wally West. Sorry, I meant to say Wally West. You go forward with Wally West. Leave Barry Allen in the dust. You don't even have to say his name again. You don't have to reference that character again. You've got Wally West. For
those that know, Barry Allen is what we call the Silver Age Flash. He was basically the second character to carry the name Flash. Wally West was his kid's sidekick and is one of the first DC characters that was allowed to step out of the sidekick role and take over the mentor's mantle to become that character. There is a generation, maybe 2 or 3 generations of comic readers whose Flash was Wally West.
Yeah.
And when Barry finally returned from a sacrifice that he committed in like 85,
sure.
He didn't come back till like 2015.
Yeah, he's gone a long time.
It's like 30-some years this guy was out.
That's got to be the longest a big character has stayed dead in a long time.
They did a little flashback. You know, he was never forgotten. Let's be very clear about that. But Wally had been allowed to take over that role, and people
he was the Flash.
Loved that character.
Wally was the Flash.
Wally is my Flash.
Is he?
He's my Flash.
So that's how you take care of that on every aspect, on whether it's the Ezra Miller aspect, whether it's the Barry Allen aspect, or whether it's the Snyderverse aspect. This is the perfect spot to just be rid of it all, and you don't have any public backlash. There's there's Ezra Miller, one person, and then there is 400 other people that worked on that movie. Okay. Now some of them might be terrible people too. I don't know, but we'll never know because they're not famous. It's much like this room. There's 3 of us standing here right now. One of us is terrible. It doesn't matter who it is. That one. But the main thing is, don't be mad at the entire show just because you don't like somebody. Go ahead.
I mean, if you take Ezra Miller out of this equation, you have nothing but fans standing up, cheering, and hullabaloo.
Right.
It would be amazing. He is the stain. Now, whether they can get past that stain or not, fans are going to fan. They're going to go see this. Will he keep some people away? A minority. But that's like this in everything. We're seeing the exact same thing, and not to hijack your thing, but the exact same thing is going on with the Legacy of Hogwarts video game. I've engaged with people on this online. Exact same thing. J.K. Rowling right now is toxic.
Right.
And people are up in arms because of her beliefs. And I've been saying for a while, this isn't about J.K. Rowling's anymore. Harry Potter, whatever it is, Hogwarts, is no longer J.K. Rowling's. This is an industry. This is an industry that employs a lot of people. And people are like, oh, you're just feeding into her money. You're just giving her more money. J.K. Rowling has more money to keep her entire lineage going for the next 5 generations without them ever lifting a finger.
She has more money than the royal family.
She ain't hurting. So by you boycotting any Harry Potter product for whatever reason, 0 is going to happen to J.K. Rowling and that family. This is the same thing with Ezra Miller. He's probably done. The only thing that I would be willing to throw money at the big screen right now is if him and Shia LaBeouf do a buddy cop movie together. That's about it. You put those 2 together in a movie right now, though, and I'm in. Here's my ticket money. Let me see that madness.
I'd rather see like a bare knuckle fight between the 2 of us.
Whatever.
Do you know that's a thing?
By the way,
bare knuckle leagues is a
money,
thing.
Shia LaBeouf. I'm going to be at the
Sure,
casino.
sure.
I'll put our money in now.
Sure.
It's going to be good. So, yeah, and let's face it. When Keaton stands up and says that line.
Sure. I'm Batman.
No.
I'm Batman.
Yeah.
What?
He goes, yeah, I'm Batman.
Oh, okay.
There's that indifference toward, like, yes, I'm going to say the line,
Right.
but I'm going to say it in a way that's finally, it's, you all know it. Worst kept secret ever.
Right.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go see it. And then we'll see what else he does. But one of the things he's got in there, one of the things he mentioned was the new Supergirl movie as part of it. So he's got a lot of stuff. We've got an entire episode about the James Gunn slate, and we'll happily go through it.
We can do that.
One of the books he's talking about is the Supergirl trade paperback or book that came out last year. It's phenomenal. It's in my top 5 books of all the comics that came out last year. It is exquisite. And you can go to the Howard County Public Library if you've got your card. They have a thing called it's 9. You hit your point. You get paid. Frontline gets paid. You can use Hoopla, which is their digital thing. That trade paperback that he is saying this movie is based on is available through that. So you can check this out on a digital device for free if you want to check that out.
Speaking of that, and not to derail that, but I just read yesterday that the Brooklyn Public Library is opening their memberships up to anybody nationwide to check out digital online stuff. Just so, with all the controversies lately about what books you can check out where.
It's Florida. We're talking about Florida.
It's Florida and Ezra Miller. It's those two.
And Shia LaBeouf. We get all 3 of them into the same movie at the same time. So Shia LaBeouf, Ezra Miller,
in
go
Florida.
down. They've got to take a truck full of
banned books.
Banned books across the Mississippi into Florida. I'm in. I'm in for this.
He's really thirsty.
All right, everybody, we have so much to talk about, but unfortunately, that's our time.
It is?
So I think it is. I think he's about to hold up a finger that says we got like 1 minute left.
Oh.
So, till next time, be groovy, everybody.